Hey guys, I just want to do a quick walkthrough of your kitchen design. I put together this little video here, kind of what your kitchen could look like. This is assuming that you painted it white. Of course, this is also assuming that you do this full height splash. You could potentially do like a tile here. This is kind of a general idea. I've also thought maybe I should do this kind of slat look underneath the island here. Let me go into my drawing here. Actually, you know what? Let me look at my photo up close here. So underneath the island, I was kind of trying to decide what to do. I did a few different designs that I didn't like, but I finally went back to just kind of this slat look. One option that I thought about was, if you wanted to, that might look neat, is you could do like a strip of LED lights inside like the outsides of this, or you could do a strip underneath here. But it would light up this bottom section a little bit and kind of give it a little bit more character. Since you've already got the under cabinet lighting here and here, it kind of lights up the backsplash. It looks real good. I just feel like it might just need a little bit more warm light in here. Of course, we've got the double oven here. You've got your cooktop, your sink. I've got the top row of doors. I have those as slabs, or solid wood panels, so that you don't have to worry about keeping the glass clean or anything like that. One option is you could potentially do this bottom section as like a stain grade. That's one option to think about. Right now it's just all paint grade for simplicity, but that is an option. Anyways, let me walk through the actual drawing in my CAD software here. Let me minimize this. This is what I started with to make those other images. So just going through wall by wall. Of course, you've got your cooktop here. So I'm going to bring down the height of this drawer here. Let me edit and go into this unit here. So I'll just make sure that you have enough room here for your cooktop. And this drawer that's here will be a little bit shorter in height whenever you open it. But you still be able to fit a lot of taller stuff in these. Same thing here. We got drawers, drawers, drawers. Adjustable shelves, adjustable shelves. I made these all identical measurement. It worked out perfectly so that you can have it symmetrical. I've got cookie sheet dividers in here above the ovens. Looking at this wall, I've got a dishwasher, more drawers, fully enclosing around the fridge. We need to remember to add the 2x4 on this wall so that this doesn't stick out past. Go to fill mode here. If that 2x4 isn't added, then this trim detail starts to stick out past the wall. We don't want that. Of course, just like at your other house, these are functional, usable. I'll have adjustable shelves inside of them. Let me hide the floor real quick so we can look at this. Delete floor. Here we go. The way I'm going to create this slat wall look is, I was planning on using actual 3/4 thick by 1.5 inch boards and spacing them with 3/4 inch spacing. And so that's why I was thinking maybe you could do like an LED strip light inside, like the slots on each end. Just an idea, anyways. Or you could go and stick it to the underside of the counter. Let me look at the island itself. Here we go. Okay, so here's the island. We're going to do that mixer lift in here. Double trash can pull out in here. I just started doing my double trash can pullouts differently. Let me show you how I'm doing them now. So this is the new trash pullout that I've just started doing. I can't remember if I put this into 266 Springfield or if I still had my old flat one. The other one that I used to have was just kind of flat across here. And I created this shape, and my CNC cuts that pattern. So that's what I'll use for your trash pullout. And then here on the opposite side, in order to keep the island looking perfectly symmetrical, I put a door, another 16.5 wide opening here. And in that opening, I thought it might be good to do this mixer lift. So this is the mixer lift I was planning on using here. And then somewhere in the kitchen, I figure we'll do 2 peg organizer drawers. We'll need to decide exactly which 2. Those look like this here. Let me open this image. So it's a little insert that sits down in the drawer. It's a pre-finished birch insert, and these little pegs push down into it. So basically I just buy one of these and I cut to fit where it sits into the drawer. Moving on to the next room, we've got the pantry. Of course, you've got your under counter fridge, so you have to make this wall 24 inches depth. I've got these big tall drawers so you can fit all kinds of pantry items. I have these exact drawers in my pantry and we are using the heck out of them. They're working good. And then I've got some shorter drawers here. Your butler pantry. Of course, you'll have Angel do your floating shelves up here. You'll have your ice maker in this hole here, and then just some drawers. Again, I'm continuing the stiles down all the way to the floor. I do want to note that in this pantry, the way that I'm drawing the cabinets is without the stile going to the floor. So this will be the only spot in the house. And the reasoning is I'm detaching the toe kick because the way I have to build this L shape and attach them together as 2 separate units, it's much simpler for me to build a separate toe frame and then basically construct everything on top of it, as opposed to this just being a single piece that goes in. So this will be the only spot in the house where a stile does not extend down to the floor. Let's go to the mud bench. I really like the mud bench. So my inspiration picture here for the mud bench was right here. I just kind of like this shape with the cutout here and the 3. And so that's kind of what I'm emulating here. I'll have that same cutout look here. The only difference is I'll have this be open for shoes. And I've got an adjustable shelf in here. If it comes down to it and you end up feeling like you can fit another shelf, we can always make one more shelf. I originally had this unit at 18 deep, but I decided to make it 20 deep, and I've got this upper section at 16 deep. Laundry room. Okay. We have tall drawers for here for hampers. And then inside here, of course, is your sink. You'll have your hamper storage here. And I'm basically just building these as a tall drawer. Just a super tall drawer box that you can fit whatever hamper you get can fit into it. Upper over the washer and dryer. Angel can run his hanging rod here. On the opposite side, this unit I've got it 20 deep, which is kind of a general storage cabinet here with drawers. Master bathroom. Again, fairly straightforward. We've got a his and hers vanity that are identical, drawers down each side. On one side though, I'm gonna do powered vanity drawers inside these drawers. Those units look like this right here. So it's got metal cups. This basically I buy this whole drawer. It's a pre-finished drawer. So whereas all the rest of your drawer boxes will be painted, this drawer already has a clear coat on it. I probably wouldn't paint it or do anything with it. You would only need to paint the front. Have your painter just paint the front of it. And then of course it has its outlets here. It's a pretty cool system because it controls your wire as you plug it in behind, and then it allows the wire to go in and out without impeding the drawer operation. Living room, again, Angel can build your floating shelves. I'm just doing 2 base units, pretty simple. Half bath. I've got a toilet paper drawer underneath, and then I've got a cabinet over the commode. Guest bath. Of course, we've got a cabinet over the commode. I've got these adjustable shelves going up right here, and then a couple of kids' vanities over here. This bath 3 vanity looks very similar to the kids' bath vanities. Master closet. Okay, and I wanted to talk to you about the master closet. So I'm doing this drawer stack here for you. But I wanted to offer, because I am doing the closets now, I'm starting to do the built-in style closet. Let me open up some reference here. This is kind of an example of like if we did a pre-finished melamine closet. Basically, it's that plastic clad material, and then I just do pre-drilled holes. It all assembles together. Then you can do cool things like these lighted rods. You can do these big mirror doors here. So you've got that one section of wall where you can do these big mirror doors. You can do various different types of like belt and tie organizers. I like the look of having this one solid toe below everything. And the way this would work is if we use this pre-finished material, then you would go ahead and don't put the baseboard in the room, but you would go ahead and paint the entire room. And then I would come and install all this stuff. And then if you're running carpet in there, then you would run your carpet. If you're tiling that room, then I would say you probably could go ahead and tile the floor, and then we can run down to the tile. But if you're running carpet, I would probably set all this stuff and then run the carpet. But there's so many different ways that you can incorporate lighting and kind of make it real fancy. That's stuff that nobody is doing, and if you're doing this as a parade house to show things, like it might really set you apart as something different. There's these different like textures that you can do. There's like these shoe shelves you can do that are angled. Let me go through this catalog real quick and show you a couple things that I liked. Let's see. This textured faces for the doors and stuff, like it's kind of a neat look. Kind of separates from normal finishes. Same thing like with the rods. You can do rods that kind of have a fabric texture or leather texture. I really like these jewelry tray organizers that you can do. They're like 2-tiered. You kind of have a leather look to them. I don't know how much jewelry you would need to store in your closet, but it just kind of adds to the look of everything. And it's really functional too. So I can send you this catalog. I don't know what you guys have in your budget for your closet. I know that you have, obviously, Angel's trimming your house, and I'm sure he includes closet in his trim cost. But I don't know if he line items it separately or if he just does like a foot cost. And then, of course, you have your material cost. So, but anyways, I just think it would be really neat to display stuff, and then also, for the use of it, like while you're living there, it's going to be pretty effective to store and organize everything. But I'll send you this catalog. You can kind of go through it and kind of talk about it and see. But if so, then you would go ahead and paint the whole closet, and then I would put in basically a finished item afterwards. So, and I would definitely work with you on budget, since this will be like kind of a advertising closet, because it will be in the parade and everything. So I really like these shoe fence sets that they can do different finishes. To me, that looks really, really sharp. Anyways, let me know if you have any other questions, or if you want to talk about this closet stuff. I'm putting together a showroom right now for closets specifically. So eventually we'll be able to look at it here at the shop. Thank you guys.